The music is playing, so you know what that means. Round 2 Wrestling is back. Thank you for tuning into this brand new podcast here on the 28th of February, 2023. I am SlimmDa KID, your host with the most wrestling knowledge, and we have a episode full of information today. So be sure to hit that replay button and take a listen to Round 2 Wrestling again. We're going to kick things off here on Round 2 Wrestling how we always do by taking a listen to the Pro Wrestling Rumor Mill. All right. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp reported a WWE talent told him Vince McMahon is back working WWE creative. However, Wade Keller of PW Torch updated this situation by saying McMahon is in no way, and he wanted to reiterate, no way back with WWE Creative. This is a very far-fetched rumor, and I am 100% behind the idea that it is fabricated and made up. This particular rumor has popped up several times since McMahon's departure last year, and I sincerely doubt this will ever be truthful again. Spectrum Cable has the AEW Forbidden Door pay-per-view scheduled for June 24th, 2023. Now, again, this is the rumor mill. You have to understand that what is said here during the rumor mill may or may not be true. You have to take it with a grain of salt. However, I find this particular rumor to be a bit more believable, considering Spectrum Cable has a history of booking and listing those bookings for shows, events, or whatever weeks and months ahead of their actual debut date. Per Dave Meltzer, AEW All Access, that is the new AEW television series, is the replacement for the Roads to the Top series AEW was broadcasting. According to PW Insider, WWE's King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view will happen in May and in Saudi Arabia. No specific time or date was released at the time of this broadcast. And again, this is just a rumor. Per Wrestling Observer newsletter, Saudi Arabia is absolutely interested in buying WWE, and Vince McMahon's asking price of $9 billion, that's with a B, dollars, makes them a leading contender. If this particular rumor does turn out to be true, there are not too many people in the world capable of buying WWE for the asking price of $9 billion. It makes sense for the Saudi Arabians to buy this particular entity from the United States as a way to mask their true identity. The Saudi Arabians have a long history of human rights abuse and things of that nature, and buying something like WWE and trying to flip the light on Saudi Arabia and make it more positive would definitely get people thinking less about the human rights violations and more about how great this country is. Per Wrestling Observer, Rey vs. Dominic Mysterio will happen at WrestleMania 39. Several rumors are pertaining to WrestleMania the closer that it gets. Two rumors are saying that two matches have already been set in stone, but those are just rumors. They have not been confirmed by WWE as of yet. San Francisco 49ers tight end George Kittle told TMZ Sports he is open to working with WWE when he finishes up his NFL career. George Kittle would not be the first pro athlete to jump sport from one to pro wrestling, but it would be nice to see him in wrestling. He has a larger-than-life persona and looks like he could handle himself in the squared ring just fine. Squared circle, my bad. AEW and AEW Games have teased news about the AEW video game AEW Fight Forever. For months, little has been said in regards to AEW, but a release date may have been leaked. March 31st is the rumored release date for this highly anticipated wrestling video game. All right, that is enough of the rumor mill and the things that may or may not be. We are going to move Round 2 Wrestling along and talk about things a bit more actual factual. This is pro wrestling news. The bell rung, so we must begin. MLW has signed a former GCW champion, Ricky Shane. Page has announced Sunday he is officially signed to MLW. Fightful Select and Righteous Rag report current AEW manager Vicky Guerrero and AEW have mutually agreed not to renew her AEW contract. MLW signs another top independent wrestler. Akira is MLW's newest wrestler, confirmed by WrestlingHeadlines.com. MLW, along with NWA and Impact, have been making huge strides in the last couple of years, signing some very talented wrestlers to their rosters and blustering said rosters. These particular promotions are of interest and should have their eye kept on. Don't sleep on MLW, Impact, or NWA. These are up-and-coming and very, very watchable wrestling promotions. AEW wrestler Chris Jericho blasts WWE and says he has zero interest in a WWE return. Insists AEW is the promotion to work for in all of pro wrestling. Ring of Honor to begin its second coming this week. Ring of Honor will be back on TV this Thursday, March 2nd, via the Honor Club streaming service, and will feature a Ring of Honor World title match in its first broadcast. So be sure to sign up for Honor Club and watch Ring of Honor this Thursday. F4W Online reports the DUI case against former WWE and current AEW wrestler Jeff Hardy has been dropped. Hardy's driving license is suspended for 10 years. He is to pay $4,600 in fines and legal fees, plus a drug or rehab DUI school completion, of which is the terms for a AEW return per Tony Khan. Women of Wrestling, or WOW, has announced 2 documentary specials to air on Pluto TV's Fight Channel this month. My Road to WOW is a behind-the-scenes type documentary, while The Origin of WOW will focus on the rise and fall of 1980s WOW to today's brand. All right, a lot of pro wrestling news to think about. Let's jump over to the title matches and see who retained and who are new champions in the world of professional wrestling. You gotta love the bell. Becky Lynch and Lita defeated WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Damage Control to become the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. NXT World Champion Braun Breaker defeated Jinder Mahal to retain the NXT World Championship. AEW All-Atlantic Champion Orange Cassidy defeated Wheeler Yuta to retain the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions the Death Dolls defeated the Hex to retain the Impact Knockout Tag Team titles. Impact Digital Champion Joe Hendry defeated Moose to retain the Impact Digital Media Championship. Impact Knockout World Champion Mickie James defeated Masha Slamovich to retain the Impact Knockouts World Championship. Impact World Champion Josh Alexander defeated Rich Swann to retain the Impact World Championship. NWA National Heavyweight Champion Scion defeated Austin Idol via time limit draw to retain the NWA National Championship. Pretty Empowered 2.0 defeated NWA Women's Tag Team Champions the Renegade Twins to become the new NWA Women's Tag Team Champions. On the same card, Maddie Renkowski and Missy Kate defeated NWA Women's Tag Team Champions Pretty Empowered 2.0 to become the new NWA Women's Tag Team Champions. MLW World Champion Alex Hammerstone defeated Yamato to retain the MLW World Championship. A good number of titles were on the line, and a few new champions were also crowned. But be sure to listen to this particular segment again, and once again, remind yourself who retained and who are new champions in the world of professional wrestling. We are almost through with this new episode of Round 2 Wrestling, and we are going to conclude this podcast with a producer and fan favorite. Did you know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. Without further ado, here we go. Did you know during his 6-year WCW run, Hollywood Hulk Hogan held the world title 6 times for a combined 1,177 days? Did you know Chris Benoit won the WCW world title in 2000 and never lost or vacated the title? Benoit jumped ship to WWF, and the WCW world title simply went back to WCW. A very poor way to leave a prestigious title. Did you know in 1999, WCW had over 250 wrestlers under contract? Only 40 to 50 regular wrestlers were used at any given time, meaning 210 wrestlers were paid to stay on the sidelines. Did you know NWA TNA's highest attendance record took place July 2nd, 2010 in Brooklyn, New York? 6,500 live were in attendance. Did you know AJ Styles was the first NWA TNA X Division champion? Did you know former WCW and WWF wrestler Pac, aka Six Pac, a name or a play on his WCW and WWF names, won the NWA TNA X Division title during TNA's final year back in 2002? Did you know in January 2013, Hall of Fame tag team The Road Warriors wrestled in TNA in a 8-man tag team match? All right, that is the conclusion of Round 2 Wrestling. I am SlimmDa KID, and once again, I personally want to thank you for tuning in to this broadcast. A personal shout out to my best friend, and it is his birthday. Justin, a.k.a. Crazy Legs, if you are listening, happy birthday, my man. 37 is quite an age to be. Once again, I am SlimmDa KID. Thank you for tuning in to Round 2 Wrestling. Be sure to tune in next week where I bring you more news, more rumors, and more results from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID and Spreaker.com.